A little sweet and very savory. Pastelón takes two of Puerto Rico's most beloved staples, picadillo and plantains, and combines them into a hearty, savory casserole. Well, that's a good thing because Dan's here and he's going to make a fabulous version for us.
That's right. And so this is one of my favorite plantain dishes. As you know, they're incredibly versatile. When they're green and starchy, we make tostones with them. But when they get to a super ripe stage, which we're going to work with today, you get those gorgeous maduros, which are just sweet and incredible. They build the foundation of this casserole.
All right.
Before we get to them, we're going to get to our sofrito. So this is going to season the entire dish, and we're going to work with a couple of different ingredients here. First, I have a Cubanelle pepper here. So pretty mild, lots of nice green grassy flavor, which is something you'll see, I think, a lot in this sofrito. I'm going to basically stem and seed it. So I'm just going to chop this pretty rough because we're going to use our food processor to put our sofrito together.
Gotcha.
So we just need some manageable size pieces.
Give yourself a head start here.
Okay, next up we have culantro. We're looking for a 1/4 cup here. Now culantro is a really wonderful herb. It's one of my favorites. It is really pungent and grassy, but it does share some flavor compounds and some aromas with cilantro. So this is absolutely worth seeking out. Do everything you can to find it. If it's just not available where you live, you can substitute a cup of cilantro in its place. I'm gonna do a healthy 1/4 cup here. So for the rest of our sofrito, we have 3/4 of a cup of cilantro leaves and stems. The stems have tons of flavor too, so we're going to include those. I've got half of an onion here that I've quartered, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, which is going to help when we cook this out later, and 3 garlic cloves. And then I'm going to pulse this until it is coarsely chopped, which will be 12 to 14 pulses.
Okay.
Okay, that looks great. So we'll leave it in there.
Okay.
Now it is time for the star of the dish, plantains. And as you can see, this is black, right? Really, really dark. It's got some yellow over here, but it's really soft. Plantains go through an incredible process from green all the way up to black. And during that time, a couple things happen. Starches convert to sugar, so we get something that's firmer, to something that's nice and sweet. Acids decrease, so you get something that tastes even sweeter in that way. And they get really, really soft as well. So this is ideal for this recipe here. I find it's really easy to cut it in half first. And then I'm going to cut it into thirds. So we're looking for thin slabs that will stack really well in the casserole.
Nice little planks.
Nice little planks. Now it is time to do our frying. I have 3/4 of a cup of vegetable oil in my 12-inch nonstick here, which I'm going to heat over medium-high heat until shimmering.
I see shimmer.
You see shimmer, and I see time to put in the plantain. So I'm going to start with 1/3 of them. Beautiful. So that's 1/3 of our 3 pounds of plantains. We're going to cook until they're nice and browned on the bottom. And so we're going to cook these for 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, it is time to flip. And I think you will see. So they're beautiful.
Yes, they are. Oh, deeply colored. Oh, gorgeous.
There's just so much sugar in there, and it loves to brown out. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so we'll go for another 2 to 4 minutes here until that second side looks just like this. That has been 3 minutes, and these look gorgeous. So I'm going to pop them over here and let them drain.
Oh my goodness.
That second side got gorgeously brown, so I'm going to get them out and onto a sheet right there so they can drain. So I'm going to continue with the rest of these in 2 more batches. All right, all of our plantains look lovely, and I'm going to hit them with some salt, about a ½ teaspoon of table salt right away. It's going to help it really stick to it. So now back to our skillet. I emptied out most of our oil, and then we're going to add 1 pound of 90% lean ground beef. Now that's pretty lean, but we really want the dish to be balanced, right? So we fried these, and they have a fair amount of oil. We might use some cheese later. That adds about a richness too.
Gotcha.
So the 90% is really nice here. So I'm going to cook this and break it up with my wooden spatula. I'm going to cook until it's no longer pink and just beginning to brown. Okay, there's just barely a little bit of pink there, so I know I'm ready to go to my next step. And I've got 2½ teaspoons of Saison to add here. Now, there's a number of different formulations for this seasoning blend. This one has achiote in it, which gives it that gorgeous orange-red color. So I like to seek that out. It's super rich, gives a ton of umami to the dish. Takes about a minute. And then finally, 2 teaspoons of distilled white vinegar. Smell good?
Yeah.
I know, this whole room is just filled with it. Okay, so that is all set. I'm going to transfer it to this bowl over here. Now our sofrito that we made in the food processor goes right in. So we're going to cook this until the onion starts to soften. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes.
All right.
All right, that onion is nice and soft. So I'm going to add 8 ounces of tomato sauce, and this is the stuff in the can that says tomato sauce. That's what you want to go for. I'm going to cook this until we start to see it really reduce on the sides and we get a little bit of fond happening there. That means we've got a lot of water out of that, so producing a lot more flavor. So I'm going to keep cooking until that point. You can see it's starting to brown and stick there.
Deep flavor.
Deep, deep flavor.
All right.
So next we're going to add back the meat. And I have 2 tablespoons of alcaparada. Now this is a mixture of olives, pimentos, and capers. It's really fabulous. It adds tons of brininess, a little bit of sweetness, but salty brininess is really what it's all about. We're leaving it whole. You can chop it up, but it's really nice when you get a whole olive, and it kind of changes the flavor of the dish. So we're just going to cook this for another 2 to 3 minutes until everything is warmed through and the sauce is really absorbed into the meat. All right, it is time to assemble. I have my 13 by 9 inch baking dish here. I'm going to lightly spray the bottom of this, and then I'm going to layer on half of the plantains into a nice even layer here. Now you don't have to fully cover the bottom, but pretty even coverage.
Okay.
Beautiful. The next layer we're going to add is some beaten egg. What we're going to do is add a pinch of salt to these 2 eggs. That's going to be seasoning, but it also helps them turn more fluid. It breaks down the proteins a little bit so that you can actually get it to spread evenly on the bottom. This is a really traditional component of pastelon, is it settles to the bottom and it forms like a really nice base, so it's easy to get clean slices out. Do a little shimmy, make sure it's evenly distributed. Now time for our beef. So we're going to do 1 layer of the beef. We want to spread this out over the whole plantain layer there. Beautiful. That is our beef. And then we're going to do our 2nd layer of plantains.
Beautifully done.
It does. It looks good, right? So we could pop this in the oven and roast it now. It would be absolutely fabulous. I'm actually going to add some cheese to the top, which is not in the most authentic original recipes.
Right.
But most modern recipes do have some cheese because it's wonderful. It ties it all together.
And it's cheese.
It's cheese. So we're using 4 ounces of Monterey Jack here.
Nice melting cheese.
Yep. Really you want melting and mild. I'm going to transfer this to a 400-degree oven and cook until the cheese is melted and just beginning to brown. It takes about 20 to 25 minutes.
At Cooks Illustrated, we're food nerds. That's why every recipe we develop involves research, cooking science, and rigorous testing by our team of expert test cooks, before being tested by our dedicated community of 40,000 home cooks. Only the highest rated recipes earn a place in our award-winning magazine. Every issue features our latest recipes and discoveries, cooking tips, and equipment and ingredient reviews. Our step-by-step photos and hand-drawn illustrations show you exactly how to succeed. What you won't see, even a single page of advertising. We've worked for home cooks like you for over 30 years. So, are you ready to become the best cook you know? Subscribe to Cooks Illustrated magazine at cooksillustrated.com today.
Whoa.
Does that look good?
Yeah, that looks good.
All right, so we're gonna let this rest for about 5 minutes before we can dig in. You can tell that it's bubbling and really hot.
5 minutes. Okay.
All right, are you ready to try this?
Very much so.
And it looks perfect. We've got melted cheese, some of it's starting to brown. Everything is gelled together in this beautiful way.
Oh, that looks gorgeous.
Beautiful.
You still have your neat, tidy layers.
Yep, and that egg does really help get it out of the pan there. Obviously add some nice richness.
Yeah. All right.
Let's dig in.
It's that sweet, savory combo that gets me every time.
Every time. Oh, it's so good. Those plantains, they were perfectly ripe.
Yes.
Really, really sweet.
They have the beautiful crust on them, but they're pillowy soft.
And I think the best part, in my mind, the alcaparada that's in there.
It's an explosion of flavor with every bite.
It really is.
It's gorgeous. Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
Well, you've got to try this pastelon, and it starts with frying planks of plantain until they're golden brown. Create a picadillo with lean ground beef, alcaparado, and sofrito, and then pour eggs over that first layer of plantains for more structure. Bake it all until it's beautifully browned and bubbly. So, from America's Test Kitchen, the outstanding pastelon. You can get this recipe and all the recipes from this season, along with product reviews and select episodes. And those are all on our website, americastestkitchen.com/TV.
We hope you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed making it.
Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel.
And if you're ready to take your cooking to the next level, head over to americastestkitchen.com and get a free all-access trial membership.
While you're there, you can sign up for our free email newsletters and download our app.
With unlimited access to over 14,000 of our test kitchen recipes and 8,000 product reviews, you'll have everything you need to cook and learn.
So I ask, what are you waiting for?
Let's make something great together.